Everybody, welcome back to our episode of FSide DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, my River 31. Back to my regular setup, so hopefully I sound a little bit better. Sorry about that. Today I was trying to do it on my laptop. There are birds chirping outside, and I think some of the ambient noise around me made it sound like the sound was cutting in and out. So, top race, Xfinity one was decent. But sad news here is that with the new repave at Sonoma, it doesn't really look like there's much fall off. So it's really hard to pass unless you really slam into guys and um, cause a couple frustrating situations. But I actually did really well, and I know that there was some people that weren't happy that the videos for a couple of the truck and Xfinity recently have been speculation ones, but when you have such a tight window, it's almost impossible to get a video out. Especially when you only have like 3 hours so to do the final research and crunch all the money and make sure the sheets where I want it to be, and then to record like a 20 minute to half an hour video, and then when uploading and editing, by the time we get out to you, like you miss so much. So I'd rather get a speculation one out to you. Just and honestly, if you look back at it, like I only pivoted off of like one of the um AJ Allmendinger. I went Klingerman in the prime plays, and Allmendinger wasn't a bad play. It just he got spun out like late, but I ended up I think paid like $27 on it just because I knew it was such a volatile one. Ended up winning like 117 or something. So it's a good night. I'll take it. Decent profit. Baseball went well. I had a lot of T. Hernandez from the Dodgers. So looking forward to making some more money tomorrow. So uh, let's get into this. So we have 11 races left. I don't know if anybody's starting to feel the crunch for the playoffs, but it's got to be getting there um, soon, especially for like Logano, who's had a pretty bad season so far. I mean, he won a race, but the race was the All-Star race, didn't count for anything. So he ends up on the pole here. He's pretty fast. He's actually been the king at new tracks, new configurations, things like that. So, does it surprise me as the pole here in Sonoma with repave? No. The other thing that they did, if you didn't watch the Xfinity race or the video, is turn 11 used to, it's a big like U at the bottom. So like, I think they come down a hill and then they curve around it like almost 180 degrees. It's like they're driving around a giant like U. There used to be a tire barrier there, and you could be a bounce off and bounce guys off it and stuff. And now it's a wall, so it's not as forgiving, and that could be quite the issue here. So Logano, I think's in play here, and you can play him in cash. I just like to speed in practice, and the Fords have picked up the speed. And again, he's been good on road courses and good here. The only thing is, like, he's been optimal before, but it's not been starting up here. And honestly, like, if you look back the last couple of years, I think it was like in 22, like Larson led from flag to flag. It was one of the races like post COVID when they finally came back here, and it was quite boring, and like nobody could pass them, and you just led the whole race, and ended up being optimal because of that. But I don't know if I foresee that happening. I think NASCAR brought a different tire here. The guys in purple are the ones that had a chance to go out and test it. So I think they're trying to do as much as they can to make sure it's not a situation like Larson dominating the whole race from flag to flag. But and the other thing too is like their stage breaks are back, so that's really helpful because when they took out the stage breaks, then people can't short pit, which means that if you're not in contention for stage points or don't care about stage points or don't need stage points, then pit early before the stage, get the track position, and then let the drivers, fight it out for the stage points. And when they go and pit, you're going to cycle back to the front, and then they're going to have to um, get through everybody that pitted previously, even though they have fresher tires. But again, there's not as much fall off, so it just gives you track position. If you can hold it, that gives you a huge advantage. So between Logano and Reddick, I think they're both in play here in cash. I mean, obviously different price points here. I think I like Reddick better. I think he's a little bit more aggressive and could get out there against in front of Joey. But I mean, anything could happen between the two of them. Like this isn't as bad as like some of like the other courses that we saw. Like Portland and like this is a real road course, and I've said it for years that I just think some of the road courses they have out there are absolutely ridiculous. Like Coda, it's a road course and Road America is just in the name. It's a road course. The Sonoma and Watkins Glen. There was a time when they used to only run Watkins Glen and Sonoma. There's two road courses a year, and now they have all these hybrid ones and stuff. And it's just I don't like it as much. But it is what it is. So, anyways, this is um, a road course. So, but there isn't any of those like corner traps where like everybody's gonna go in and like the half the field's gonna miss it and have to like sit out and watch everybody pass and then get back in line and stuff. There's a little bit of that, but not as much here. So, I think it's safe to take these two in cash, but again, like they might not end up being optimal. You're kind of hoping that they're able to hold their track position. Now you have a whole run of GPPs here. Blaney has never really been great at road courses. Fords have been faster. He obviously qualified well here and looked decent, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this. So he's GPP for me. Probably a great FanDuel play, but on DK, don't really like it. Elliott, I mean, there was one time where he was really good at road courses. This next gen car, he just really hasn't been great this year. I know he has a win and is locked into the playoffs, but I just don't trust it. Larson has been good at road courses, and I know he dominated that one race here from flag to flag, but I haven't seen much other than that. So he's going to GPP. Byron has been super strong on road courses also, but at the price point, I think I want to build more balance. I didn't think either Larson or Byron or Elliott like super impressed me in practice. I know they qualified well, but that's how are they going to do with like traffic out there and other situations? Can they hold everything up here? And obviously, something's going on with the Hendricks. I mean, if you want to stack them, I get it in GPPs, but in cash, like if any of them, I'd take Bowman because he's the guy that's driving with his pants on fire pretty much here because he is on the hot seat. He needs there's rumors that Gregson and Hocevar and like all these other drivers could potentially be coming in and replacing him next year. Like he wants to keep his job. He needs to get some W's. He needs to get in the playoffs. He needs to like earn his keep or he might be out. So it's a great price point. I mean, if you want to try, there's enough value, I think, that if you want to try to do a Hendrick stack, um, it's fine. I think it's more better FanDuel play. I don't know what the pricing is there, but than a DK play, but or maybe take like three of the four of them. Might be interesting. Suarez up there, I think he's a GPP. I just don't really see him like holding Pierce. I think he's going to drop down. Chastain, I think, is a very strong play here. Also, he came out and got to do the tire test. I think that really helped with that. So gives him kind of an advantage of seeing the repave and everything, and solid cash play at 8,300. Ty Gibbs, very disappointing, and I've if you've watched this show for years, like when TK and I used to do it, we used to love Josh Williams. And then there was a point where like we kept on praising him so much that he just had like a bad luck streak that we stopped because we felt like we accidentally cursed him or something and he fell down into the realm of Joe Graff Jr. And some of the other drivers that I constantly make fun of, the Drew Dollars and the Harrison Burtons of the world. But he came out of it and he's slowly become one of my favorite drivers, not for like DFS purposes, but just like pure joy of like listening to the guy and the antics. Like he's the one where NASCAR black flagged him at Atlanta and he just parked on the start finish line and gave him the salute and walked off. um, and then like so anyways, in Xfinity this week, he gets like wrecked and they do an interview and Ty Gibbs was back with him in the pack because they blew a pit stop, and he's saying like the trouble and what happened, what caused a major wreck in Xfinity was Rich Boy with a bad pit stop is trying to win the race with 30 laps to go. So Gibbs like wrecked the car. He was pretty fast. He was up there. He won stage two. So like he knows what he's doing and everything here. I think he'll have a better day today. He's got a should have a better pit crew. And I'm gonna list him as a prime play because I think he's got the upside to go win this race. I think he's definitely having a solid season. He's got enough solid points, and I think this is the opportunity to maybe get that W to lock him into the playoffs. So I think he's gonna be high ownership. He's very proficient at road courses. The Gibbs cars have been strong, although they didn't haven't had a great showing um, this week in Sonoma. But I think that he's going to have the upside, so I'm going to lock him as my play. AJ Allmendinger, I think he's another solid play here too. And if you want to pivot off Gibbs and play a very similar play with somebody that's very proficient at road courses, and my thought is like Gibbs will probably be like trying to go for the win more than in like short pitting and get track position and stuff over trying to get the stage points. However, Allmendinger doesn't have to worry about that. He's not racing a cup full time. So all the guys that are in the tan are ones that it doesn't matter where they pit. They don't need to stay out for stage points, so they'll definitely be short pitting. You know that's going to happen. They're going to do anything to try to win. Colleague is just in the cup here, the 16 car rotating drivers, just to try to win trophies, and this is their best shot at it. So, really like Allmendinger too. And again, if you want to take the prime tag off of Gibbs and play Allmendinger, I completely get it. Mike McDowell, I think he's going to have low ownership because I don't think people are going to with all the tasty options in this price range, I don't think a lot of people are going to land on him, but he has been solid at road courses. There's a little place differential baked in. And you look at it, like starting 12th might be too far forward. Prefer him down a little bit for place differential. And that's been my attitude for him multiple times here. And I've got burned because he ends up in the top 10, maybe even the top five here. And could have a very solid day. And if you're looking for finishing position with a guy that knows what he's doing, has a decent car, and does really well in road courses, then here you go. Carson Hocevar probably should be a fade here, but I'm going to put it as a GPP. Um, this jury's still out in the Cup Series on how he's in road courses. He was decent in the Truck Series. So I'll give him a GPP here. But Gillian, even though he's been good in Truck Series and um, in the Cup, is going to fade. I think he's just going to fall down. Christopher Bell, I'm giving the GPP here also. Again, didn't blow me away in practice or anything I really saw from that. And yes, he has a win now, so he can be a little bit more aggressive and go for wins and doesn't have to worry about the sage points as much. But I think he's still one that can find trouble easily. It's going to be GPP. Austin Dillon, no way. Corey LaJoy starting this early, this high up, no way. Bubba Wallace and Gregson are decent, but drivers, but not at road courses. They've struggled. So Gregson was good in Xfinity, but I just haven't seen it in Cup. So I'm gonna give them a pass here. Zane Smith, same thing. Like this whole like range of cars here is I just don't like it. There's so many cars behind them that should be able to get ahead of them or will have better strategy than them, better crew pit crews to get them out earlier. I just can't do it. Truex came here and ran on the tire. And I didn't qualify well here and didn't look have a bunch of speed, but and he's the most expensive car. I can't put him as a prime play. The place differential should be there. Um, and again, you don't really have dominators in these races because there's not as many laps. So maybe he'll have some fast laps trying to get up there, but he can if you look at the five cars that I just like kind of canceled in front of him. And even Bell, you have two, four, six, seven, getting up to McDowell 12th. Like Truex should be able to get to at least 13th place and maybe even past like Suarez. So like he should be able to get some decent place differential here and be able to get up into like the top 10, maybe even sniff the top five. So I like him here. I don't know if I'll be able to get his price tag my build. I think I'm just gonna go like right down the middle. And when I'm done talking about these, I'll sort it and I'll show you like how juicy that middle like eight like K range is up into the 9K range. There's so many solid plays. I don't know if we'll get to Truex, but there is enough value to make it happen. Harrison Burton starting 22nd on a road course. No way. Hell no. Briscoe, he's like good shifting and driving most of these ones. Been solid on a road course, but a GPP for me. I think I'll get some decent ownership because people look at the place differential and the price point and everything, and he fits a couple builds that might be common, but I don't think I'll play him in cash and maybe sprinkle him in the GPPs. Will Brown and Cam Waters are the two guys in Brown here. And sorry I didn't explain it earlier, but if you watch my videos, you know that the guys in baby blue are road course drivers that are better than average. I'm not going to call them necessarily elite or prolific. Some of them in there are, but they're people that, you know, do okay on road courses, or when NASCAR had like only two road courses, weren't like rolling their eyes like, okay, let's just get through this week and survive in advance, and then we're back to an oval next week in Iowa. um they're the ones that actually embrace the road courses, do well, and stuff like that. The guys in Brown we call ringers. They're guys that are very, very good that they bring in specifically for some of these teams. So only in Rush Runway and Childress fielded additional cars just to bring these guys over from Australia. And I think that they're both I think Will Brown just starting up here is going to be GPP play, but borderline cash. Like he should be okay. And I think, with even though Childress hasn't had a ton of speed this year, like Kyle Busch has had some success here with Childress, and other drivers like prior to him. So I think I'll give Will Brown a shot, definitely. I probably like Waters a little bit better. They're both from Australia, they're both either like Trans Am supercar, something like that, but they drove road courses multiple times in multiple nations. So I think that both of them have a shot here. And you'd probably gravitate towards water. I know there's a great video on X of him like spinning out in practice and not hitting anything, which is pretty remarkable. It just shows you that there is some talent there, that he was able to avoid everything and once getting loose, getting used to the car, but after that, like kind of settled down and didn't qualify great here, but I think there's a lot of upside, and he'll figure out is it let the track come to him and do what he can and know how to pass and situations where others might not be able to, and be able to carve away. And we saw a lot of success from some of the ringers in the Xfinity series. And and again, they're not racing for championships, so they can pit whenever they want to, get on different strategies. And I think there's definitely between Brown and Walter. Again, Brown is a GPP, borderline cash. Waters is a cash play. Denny Hamlin probably is going to be pretty highly owned here also. People are going to look at the place differential, but Denny Hamlin has struggled on road courses. Uh, can he do 9,200 is a great price for him because I think DK realizes that he hasn't done great on road courses. So, I mean, that's a good place to start. But I think that I'll probably sprinkle him in cash. I don't know if I'll make him a penalty. Busher, I will. Busher has been um, like super fast. I think he and Byron have had some of the best speeds on road courses. I read that someplace this week, but I know Busher has been phenomenal. He never qualifies well, but he always gets there in the end through pit strategy or just through like methodically passing cars, outbraking them. He just does a really good job keeping his car clean and getting solid finishes. So I'm gonna lock him in his prime play also. Justin Haley has been super solid, and if you're looking for a punt play in the 6K range, like he has been very good on road courses, got a lot out of this Rick Ware car all season long, and someone that I think you can really trust with some floor. Austin Cindric is GPP, but I'm borderline cashing. He got the win last week. So that helps him to be like they're starting to find things and put things together. And now, like the whole world has changed for them now that they're kind of locked in the playoffs with that win, unless, enough cars get wins to knock them out. But you've had some multiple winners. So I don't think that it's going to be a situation like that. So, but I think there's still some upside to go out there and continue to win and do well. and he should be a GPP, but borderline cash play for you. Kyle Busch, I hate doing this, but he has just been so good here. Even in the Childress car, even the next generation car, even though he struggled this season, I think this, even if he didn't qualify well, he's got to do better than this. 70 under 100 is a great price for him. He's gonna, I tried to determine is this gonna be good or bad chalk, and I'm leaning good chalk. I mean, I understand if you don't want to play him and you want to pass him often and play somebody with better starting position, or if you want to go like Hamlin, like if you trust that a little bit more, if you have the salary to do it and take the prime tag off him, that's fine. But you got to leave the tag on Busher. Busher is definitely a lock for the prime. Gibbs, I feel solid on, but I could make a case for Allmendinger there. Kyle Busch, I think it's the right play. Just I think you just gotta play it as a block. I think you should be high enough own and cash that if something does go wrong, it's not gonna tank you. And GPPs, if you're trying to use them like single entry to win a tournament, again, I think the strategy is there. But if you want somebody a little bit more upside, I you're a little safer. I get it, but I think he's got the upside there. So Ryan Priest, GPP, I don't hate it, but been okay on road courses, not great. I could finish in between 25 and 30. Shouldn't drop back too far. Cam Walters already went over. Josh Berry's gonna be a fade for me. I like this him as the driver, but he was never great at road course in Xfinity. He even came out here and tested and still really hasn't showed us anything in practice, even with that extra advantage of being out here on the tire on the repave. Couldn't capitalize on it, so I'm out on him. Stenhouse, I think, is going to be very popular as a punt play down here. With place differential, he's been solid on road courses. Not enough to get the blue yet, but has done well enough to um, end up to be a potential piece that's a low price in an optimal lineup. Keselowski, I think he'll be very chalky here too. But Brad's always struggled on road courses. He just really hasn't. If you look back at like his last finishes, like he starts low and everybody he's like takes the bait like Haley Deegan. Like hopefully, you didn't take the bait on that one in Xfinity, where it's like, oh wow, this is gonna be a great place differential play, and it just turns out to be like a waste of money and nothing happens. Like Brad Keselowski is gonna like finish 32nd and get 3 place differential points, and it's really just not gonna do much for you. I mean, it's only 7K, so it's not like you're spending like 9 or 10K on it, but I see it. I'll definitely throw him a GPP lineup just in case. Um, probably like he and Hamlin will start my GPP lines, but I just can't do it in cash. Brawl is a decent punt down here. John Hunter Nemechek should be, but these legacy cars have just been abysmal. He and Jones, like no speed, and there's a reason that they're qualifying last year. And Nemechek did run the Xfinity race and did okay in a Gibbs car, but this is not a Gibbs car, even though it's a Toyota. And the development and is there some upside? Yeah. So, Nemechek, Kozlowski, and maybe Hamlin start your GPP lineup. Love it, and then throw in some guys up top there and you might have the recipe for something decent. I wouldn't play too many guys in the top 10 in the same lineup, maybe 1 to 2, just based on previous optimals. Because I think with like a lot of different having like definitely 2 stage picks. And the other thing this could turn into is fuel mileage race, which gets really annoying when like everybody's running out of gas on like the last lap, and then you have like um somebody that's going to would be super annoying if they won this. Zane Smith, um, something like that. So we'll see. But again, I think just limit who you play up top. I think Gibbs is all Mendinger is a great place to start. And then you just avoid that middle section. No, I said I'd do this earlier, so let me just sort it here by salary and just look at this like nice range here. Cindric, I can stomach. These guys probably not in couch, but like, and I said Will Brown's okay too, and maybe even Kozlowski, but right in here, like this could make a really good lineup just using like these cars in like a 20 max and maybe expanding a little bit here. But and maybe just throwing in like these two pieces as cheap plays. But I mean, you can, I think, make some really solid lineups just using like cars in this range. These two guys, if you need to like pull a couple of these, like if you want to put Truex in, four guys from this range and one of these two ones to make it work, then that's how I would really look to build your cash lineups and maybe like your 20 max lineups for that. So I got for you. If you have a question, put in chat below. Hit me up, MegaRower31 on Twitter. X, you know what it is. If you want more information on FSide DFS, you can go to the description of the video. Sundays are great days. Any weekend day, you pay $6 and you get like you get soccer, you get baseball, you get NASCAR, we'll have NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs that probably a game day in between them or however, but like cover so much of PG Showdown, course for tomorrow. So great value. And if you go to the description of the video, it takes you to a link to our website and you can see our pricing there for everything that we have. And if these videos help you help us back, we are cruising up there. We are so close. I think we're only like 50 some away from hitting the 5K mark. Like you subscribers have been coming in so fast recently. We're at 4957, so we only need 43 more. So if you haven't subscribed, please do it. Help us hit the 5K. And also, like the great thing too is like with WNBA, we partnered with Kurt, and he has been doing some live shows. I think he's gonna be doing another one on Sunday. And so if you subscribe, you get the notification. We know when like we're doing something, and if we do something out of the ordinary or something special, and we're looking to partner with more and more people that are in great minds in the industry to come on our channel and to do some content. Uh, and it's just more valuable to like work with them than to have them like start from ground zero and try to build them up because you have done such a great job helping us get to where we are. It's great to share the platform and just like try to get more information out there for you from really good people out there that can provide really good content. So look for that in the future. So thanks again. Appreciate everything. Hope you have a great weekend. Go look at your contest. You know how to get a hold of me if you have any questions. I'll see you next week for Iowa, and I'll see you next time.